Did you know that Brazil has mountains almost as high as the Andes mountain range? Let's explore the highest point of this giant. When you think of Brazil, the image that comes to mind is heat, beaches, and low forests. But there is a place in the country that behaves like a piece of the Andes. A peak so isolated, so shrouded in mystery, that it has spent most of history hidden. We are on the border with Venezuela, in the heart of the Amazon, where a mountain rises to almost 3,000 meters in altitude. This is Pico da Neblina, the highest point in Brazil, with its imposing 2,995 meters. The biggest enigma of this peak is not its height, but its location. It is not in the south, nor in the southeast. It is in the largest tropical forest in the world, in the middle of one of the wettest regions on the planet. We are talking about Pico da Neblina, in Brazil. The conquest of Pico da Neblina, as well as its discovery, was a technical and military expedition. The first official and documented ascent took place in 1965, and was led by a team from the Brazilian Army. The climber who had the honor of being the first to reach the summit was Sergeant Orlando de Rocha Ferreira. It was a remarkable feat, which required not only climbing skill, but also enormous logistical resilience to clear a path through the dense and humid Amazon rainforest. And the name, Pico da Neblina, Peak of the Mist, is the most literal and accurate description. It was officially named that way for a simple reason. The mountain is, most of the time, shrouded in persistent mist and clouds. It is the constant encounter of Amazonian humidity with altitude, a veil that the peak uses to hide from curious eyes, justifying its title. Now, the comparative context. Pico da Neblina, at 2,995 meters, is the roof of Brazil, a solitary giant. But on a continental scale, it is only a cousin of the true Andean colossi. The height comparison, while Neblina dominates the Amazon, it doesn't even rank among the 50 highest mountains in South America. Mount Aconcagua, in Argentina, the highest point on the continent, is more than twice the height of Pico da Neblina. The expedition to Pico da Neblina begins long before the rock is even touched. The real battle is against the Amazon's climate and logistics. Imagine yourself now at the base of the mountain, in the middle of the humid forest. The air is heavy, saturated with moisture. The ground isn't earth, it's a constant mixture of mud and slippery roots. The climb is an endless succession of steep ascents, where the rope is often just a thick root from the tree next to you. The trail is nature itself, relentless and green. As we climb, the environment transforms drastically. The dense, low Amazon rainforest gives way to the cloud forest, or mountain forest. Here, the air humidity is almost 100%. The trees become twisted, dwarfed, and covered in a thick beard of moss, as if they were guardians of a secret kingdom. This humidity and isolation create a unique biodiversity. Life here has had to adapt to living in waterlogged conditions. Rare orchids, gigantic bromeliads, and lichens cover every inch of the rock, forming a veritable vertical garden. The fauna is elusive, but specialized. You won't find large mammals. Instead, life hides. Amphibians, like the poison dart frog, which has vibrant colors as a warning, and endemic bird species that only exist at this altitude of the Serra do Imari, as if the mountain were a biological island in the sky. The feeling at the top, when the fog closes in, is one of total isolation. You are almost 3,000 meters above sea level, but you can only see a few meters ahead. However, there are rare moments of glory. When the fog dissipates for a few minutes, what is revealed is a breathtaking view. The entire Amazon, an infinite green sea, stretching below you to the horizon, with rivers snaking like silvery veins. It is the view from the top of Brazil, a panorama that reveals the unparalleled scale of our forest. The mountain rises in the heart of the Yanomami indigenous territory, and for these people, it is more than just rock. For the Yanomami, the mountain range is seen as a living body, a crucial point in their cosmology, the center of the universe. They call themselves the inhabitants of the peak, and have a spiritual and ancient relationship with its summit. Therefore, permission to climb it is not merely bureaucratic, it is an act of ancestral respect, ensuring that the mountain remains under the guardianship of its original caretakers. But how did a peak of almost 3,000 meters remain unknown for so long? Pico da Neblina is a master at hiding itself. Because it is in the Amazon, In one of Brazil's most remote borders, it was invisible on old maps. Its existence was only formally confirmed in the 1950s, by an overflight. The mountain was so hidden that for decades, not even Brazil knew what its highest point was. The geographical joke, Pico da Neblina, is the only tourist spot that's easier to find if you're on a plane than on the ground. It's the master of discretion, the only peak afraid of being photographed. And it even caused a small national scandal. When initially measured, it was recorded at 3,014 meters. Years later, in 2016, IBG, Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics, remeasured it using modern technology and corrected its height to 2,995 meters. The joke is that it was less than 5 meters away from being a 3,000 club, which caused a small national identity crisis. It's as if the peak failed the last height test. The logistics reflect this isolation. The journey to reach the foot of the mountain is a weeks-long adventure. After flying to São Gabriel da Cachoeira, the gateway, you need a boat, then another boat, and only then does the hike begin. The difficulty of access is so great that, if it were a person, Pico da Neblina would be that friend you have to call 12 people and take 3 different modes of transport just to get a coffee. The Yanomami experience is the true treasure, transforming the sweat of the climb into a cultural immersion that few mountains in the world can offer. The mountain is so high that despite being on the equator, its formation is of ancient rock, the Guiana Shield, the same as the Tepuis. It's as if a giant had planted a Tibetan stone peak in the middle of the forest. And its name is the key to the mystery. It's called Pico da Neblina, Peak of Mist, because literally, it spends most of the year shrouded in a constant mass of fog and clouds. This makes the expedition not only a climbing challenge, but a struggle against humidity, zero visibility, and the constant feeling of being in another world. Furthermore, this mountain is not just a geographical boundary, it's sacred territory. It rises in the heart of the Yanomami indigenous territory, one of the most isolated groups in the world. Therefore, climbing to the top is, in fact, a journey to a place of profound cultural significance, where nature is under the guardianship of its original inhabitants. It was formally discovered in the 1950s and only climbed for the first time in 1965. Why? Because it's in an incredibly remote place. Located in the Pico da Neblina National Park, in the state of Amazonas, this peak is part of the Serra do Imari Massif, an offshoot of the Guiana Shield, the same ancient geological formation that gave rise to the Venezuelan Tepuis and Mount Roraima. It is this old and resistant rock, which has been uplifted and eroded countless times, that refuses to yield. Its height is 2,995.30 meters above sea level, and the name Neblina, fog, is its true master of ceremonies. The mountain is almost always covered by a dense layer of clouds and mist. It's not ordinary fog, it's the meeting of the abundant humidity of the Amazon rainforest with the rarefied and cold air of high altitude. This creates a humid and inhospitable climate that transforms the expedition into a constant struggle against mud, moss, and zero visibility. Access to this mountain is a multi-stage adventure. There are no roads. The starting point is usually the municipality of São Gabriel da Cachoeira, and from there, the journey depends on long boat trips along the Amazonian rivers, followed by days of strenuous hiking within the dense rainforest, facing mud and thick vegetation. And perhaps most importantly, Pico da Neblina is not just a geographical landmark, it lies entirely within the Yanomami indigenous territory. This gives the expedition a profound cultural significance. For the Yanomami, the mountain and surrounding lands are not property, but sacred territory, where spirits and ancestors reside. The visit requires respect, permission, and the company of indigenous guides, transforming the climb into a spiritual journey and cultural immersion. Pico da Neblina is the perfect junction between extreme geography, the history of the Amazon, and ancestral culture. It is the true roof of Brazil, shrouded in a mystery that forces us to look upwards and at the same time, inwards. Pico da Neblina is the epitome of Brazilian grandeur and humility. It is the highest peak, but also the most discreet, shrouded in a mist that protects its secrets from the world's incessant curiosity. We saw that the expedition is a true odyssey, a struggle against mud and humidity, but one that culminates in a rare and glorious vision of the Amazon stretching infinitely. And each step of this journey reminds us of the importance of those who are there to protect the land. The presence and authority of the Yanomami ensure that this mountain is not just a geographical landmark, but a sacred and untouched territory. And to understand its obstinacy in being so high, it is necessary to remember its origin. Pico da Neblina is made of the same ancestral material, the Guiana Shield, which forms those giant tabular peaks we saw in Venezuela, such as Ollantaytambo, from which Angel Falls plunges. The mountain is, therefore, a close relative of those tepuis, a stone giant as old as the continent, which has refused to be flattened by time. It is the silent testament that Brazil's greatest strength lies not on its coast, but in the depth and altitude of its hidden geography. Pico da Neblina is a lesson that the true summit of a country is not just a matter of meters, but of history, culture, and respect. It is our highest point, and its conservation is our greatest challenge. We unveiled the mystery of the mist and the beauty of the cloud forest. The big question is, did you know that Brazil held such a high peak, hidden in the middle of the Amazon? And after this expedition, do you feel ready to face the mud, the moss, and the unforgiving climate to see the Amazon from the top of our country? And so we come to the end of another adventure. What an incredible place we visited today, wasn't it? I hope you felt the energy and beauty of this destination as much as I did. If you enjoyed traveling with me without leaving home and want to explore many other paradises around the world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's free and you'll be sure not to miss any of our upcoming expeditions. In addition to subscribing, leave a like if this video showed you something new and tell me in the comments, what was your favorite part of this trip? Or what place would you like to visit in our next destination? Until the next video.